Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum. We will be continuing with question number 2 and 3 now. So, of exercise 6C. Question number 2, part A, it says that A upon M is equals to B plus C, and here you have to make A as your subject. Fine, A as your subject means equation shall be A is equals to. Now, when there is an equals to sign, always remember you can do cross multiplication and simplifier. Okay, so in this case, it's going to be A is equals to M is going to be multiplied with B plus C, so that becomes M into B plus C. This is a simplified version. However, you can write it like this as well, that is A is equals to MB plus MC. Okay, so these both answers are correct. Moving on. Second part, it says that 5Q minus R is equals to 2P upon 3, and P needs to be made as a subject. Writing it in the bracket over here for your understanding. So 5Q minus R, it has to be multiplied with 3, and there is nothing, it's a 1. So 3 into 5Q minus R is equals to 2P, right? Now 3 into 5Q minus R upon the entire 2 is equals to P. So this is going to be your answer. Okay, moving on. Part C. It says that K plus A upon 5 is equals to 3K. So that becomes, and you have to make K as your subject. So K plus A is equals to 15K because we are cross multiplying, right? 5 into 3 is going to be your 15K. K plus A into 1 makes K plus A as it is. Now K had to be made as a subject, so K is equals to 15K minus A, right? Now in this question, there is one thing to be considered. I want to make K as my subject, and K is coming as a subject, but in my answer also there is a K. This means there is something wrong, and I need to simplify my K's first. And one more thing to be remembered, K shall be coming once, first thing. Second thing, the subject shall be positive. So 15K was there. This entire step I am going to cut it out. That becomes A is equals to 15K minus K, which makes a 14K, right? Now A is equals to 14K. These two are like terms, that's why they could be simplified together. Now 14 and K, it becomes a 14K once these two are multiplied, right? So A upon 14 is equals to K is going to be your answer. That's all. Okay, moving on to part D. Part D, it says that A is equals to half into A plus B multiplied by height, and B has to be made as my subject. Okay, now listen. It was A is equals to 1 A plus B and H. Consider these three in your numerator only, so that you are not confused. So if I multiply A plus B and H as well as 1, so in my entire numerator it's going to become A plus B multiplied by H upon 2, right? That's the most easiest thing I'll read. Moving on, this H is going to be multiplied with A as well as B, right? Because it's going to be multiplied together. HA plus HB upon 2, and A remains as it is. Now what am I going to do? Cross multiplication. 2 into A means a 2A is equals to HA plus HB. Now as you know that I had to make B as a subject, so it becomes, this HA was an extra one out there, so it becomes 2A minus HA is equals to HB, right? I am removing the first step so that I could simplify it more. Now 2A minus HA is equals to HB was my step, right? So this H, it goes in the denominator now, and remember this has to be written separately as well. So 2A upon H minus HA upon H. H and H are cancelled, so that becomes 2A upon H minus A is equals to B. Okay, moving on. Question number 3, it says that in each of the following cases you have to make the letter in the bracket as the subject of the formula, and part A is cube root h minus k is equals to m. Now in this case I had to make h as my subject. Fine. So the first thing here which you need to consider is to remove your cube root. Fine. So this means h minus k was already there, right? And when I'm removing a cube root, right, I always put a cube towards the other side, so that becomes a m cube. Now h minus k is equals to m cube, and as h had to be made as a subject, so that this minus k, it goes to the other side, so h is equals to m cube plus k is gonna be your answer. Okay, so moving on towards part B. Part B says that B is equals to root D plus 4AC. Okay, and D had to be made as your subject. Now remember to remove the root first, because we cannot solve the question right like this. So when I cut a root, I put a square on the other side, so that becomes B square is equals to D plus 4AC. Okay, now this B square is equals to D plus 4AC. What am I going to do in this case? 4AC was the extra one, so I put it towards the other side. It becomes B square minus 4AC is equals to D. That's all. Moving on towards part C. So that says P is equals to V square upon R, and V had to be made as a subject. Okay, how to make it out? Upon 1, simply cross multiply. P multiplied by R is your PR. PR is equals to V square. As I had to get only V as my subject, and this was a square, so I put a root on the other side by cutting a square, so it becomes a plus minus PR is equals to V, as well as root also. Sorry, my P looks more like an R, so I'm writing it once again. Okay, so this is going to be your answer, part D. Okay, so your part D, it says that area is equals to theta upon 360 multiplied by pi r and square. Okay, so this theta of yours, A is equals to theta multiplied by pi r square. I told you consider this pi r square as your numerator only, so theta pi r square upon 360. Make your life easy. Okay, now I had to make theta as my subject, so listen, when there is nothing, it's a 1, simply cross multiply. 360 into A means a 360A, and 1 multiplied by this entire thing makes a theta pi r square, right? Now this pi r square is extra, and you had to make theta as a subject, and I know theta and pi r square are being multiplied, so on the opposite side divide. So 360A upon pi r square is equals to theta. That's all. Thank you for watching this video. I hope your concepts are clear regarding the subject of the formula. If you have any further queries, obviously you can comment and let me know. Thank you.